This Canadian real estate market is starting to get confusing. This is the time of year in the Canadian housing market that we should be seeing sales and activity slow down, and yet in some cities, they're seeing more sales right now than they did in this summer. And compared to the 5-year average, we seem to be seeing the Canadian housing market heating back up when it should be cooling off. Find out why on this, your December 2021 Canadian Real Estate Market Update. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Canadian Real Estate Market Update here on Prairie Real Estate. If we haven't met before, my name is Matthew Pfeiffer. I'm a real estate agent from Regina, Saskatoon, and I want to educate you all about the Canadian real estate market. As always in these market update videos, we're going to break each city up into its own separate chapter. So if you want to jump directly to a city, right now in the YouTube timeline, you can just jump directly to it, and the chapters will be in the description below. If you are thinking about buying a house in Canada and want to get set up with a fantastic real estate agent, I've got you covered. I'm going to put my contact information below, and I will get you set up with a fantastic agent to help make that process smooth, and they're going to take care of you as well as I expect that all my viewers should be taken care of. But before we get into this Canadian real estate market update, checking out all these different cities and figuring out what's going on, we got to start off with another terrible joke. How do you wake up Lady Gaga in the morning? You poke her face. If you have a terrible joke like Susie did, put it in the comments below. And if you like keeping up to the Canadian real estate market, subscribe if you haven't already. The button's right there, and give this video a like. Starting off west in Victoria, that about 650 homes sold in the month. That is down 18% from last year, but it's up 4% from their 5-year average, where typically there's about 630 homes that are sold in the month. The 720 homes listed for sale last month, that is down 13% from last year and down 10% from their 5-year average, where typically you see closer to 800 homes put up for sale in the month. There are under 900 homes for sale in Victoria right now. That's down 51% from last year and down 55% from the 5-year average, where typically there's about 2,000 homes for sale at this time of year in Victoria. So that means months of inventory drops to 1.2, down from last month's 1.5. This is very clearly still a seller's market in Victoria. That composite benchmark price in Victoria continues to increase, nearly $900,000 now in Victoria. That's up 22% from last year. If you take a quick glance at the stats, it kind of looks like things are more quote unquote normal in Victoria, but really it's not. Sales are being held back by that lack of inventory. That lack of inventory is critical right now in Victoria until we see a significant surge in supply or a massive drop in demand. These prices are going to continue accelerating like they are in Victoria because there's just simply not enough homes for people to buy, too many buyers competing over the same house. Vancouver keeps seeing month after month of strong sales, and this past month was no different with over 3,400 homes sold in a month. That is up 12% from last year's already big month that they had, and up 41% from their 5-year average, where typically sales are more around that 2,300 mark at this time of year. They did see some more homes come up for sale, just shy of 4,000 homes put up for sale in the month. That is down 3% from last year, but it is up 12% over that 5-year average, where typically there's about 3,500 homes put up for sale in the month. And even with all those new listings coming up for sale, inventory continues to drop. It's under 7,200 homes for sale right now in Vancouver. That's down 16% from last year, down 22% from their 5-year average. Usually this time of year, there's closer to 8,200 homes for sale in Vancouver. That means months of inventory drops again in Vancouver, now down to 2.1, down from last month's 2.3 months of inventory. The benchmark price in Vancouver is over $1.2 million, and that is up 16% from last year. Normally this time of year, we're going to see prices flatten a little bit in Vancouver, sometimes even a small amount of a drop, but we're not seeing that. We're seeing prices increase, and the rate at which prices are increasing is actually increasing compared to what it was in the summer. But surprisingly, Vancouver is not the least affordable place in Canada to buy a house. I just did a video on that. If you want to find out where is the least affordable place to buy a house in Canada, I'll put a link in the description, or one of those pop-up cards should shoot up right now so you can check that out. Local insight from realtors in Vancouver is talking about supply and demand. We did see some more listings come on the market. That is not typical. Usually you're going to see both listings, number of sales, and inventory all decline this time of year. We saw inventory decline, Listings up a little bit, sales way up. That of course pushed that overall inventory down, making it more competitive for buyers, pushing prices up. And as has been for a while now in Vancouver, townhouses continue to be the hottest product in Vancouver for sale right now. Could Calgary be the up and coming hot real estate market in Canada? Their sales numbers are starting to show that right now. At over 2,100 homes sold in a month, that's up 47% from last year and up 68% from their 5-year average. Usually there's only about 1,250 homes sold at this time of year in Calgary. Calgary also saw a jump in listings. Nearly 2,000 homes put up for sale last month. That is up 15% from last year and up 9% from their 5-year average. Typically is only about 1,800 houses put up for sale in the month. Active listings is under 4,000 right now, and that is up 7% from last year, but down 10% from their 5-year average. Typically there's about 4,400 homes for sale at this time of year in Calgary. Months of inventory in Calgary is down to 1.9. That is down from last month's 3 months of inventory. So back squarely in that seller's market category in Calgary. That strong month of sales has reversed the normal trend of price declines in Calgary. Normally this time of year, you're gonna see prices cooling off a little bit. Not now. We've seen 2 consecutive months now of price increases. That composite benchmark price in Calgary is $461,000 now. Talking with local real estate agents in Calgary, they talked about that big jump in listings that they saw. And this is kind of a trend I'm also seeing here in Regina in my market. And that is people who wanted to sell their house the last couple of years, but because the market wasn't as strong, they were probably going to be taking a loss on that property, so they didn't sell them. Now that the market conditions have improved, we're seeing some of those people who wanted to get out of houses now putting up for sale, and they're seeing them get sold as well. While Calgary had a strong month of sales, what happened in Edmonton? Well, there are 1,800 houses that were sold, and that is up 30% from last year, and it's up 36% from their 5-year average, where typically only about 1,300 houses are sold in the month. The 2,100 homes that were put up for sale in the month, well, that's up 15% from last year, but it is down 8% from their 5-year average, where typically you're going to see about 2,300 houses put up for sale in the month. They are down under 6,000 homes for sale right now in Edmonton. It's down 6% from last year, down 19% from their 5-year average, where there's typically closer to 7,200 homes for sale at this time of year in Edmonton. Months of inventory continues to decline. Last month it was 3.5. This month it's 3.2. The composite benchmark price in Edmonton continues to hover around $340,000, and that is up 6% from last year. I talked last month, I wanted to see if prices like they did in Calgary increased in Edmonton this month. We didn't see an increase, but we also didn't see a drop in prices, so maybe they're getting a little flattening here and they could jump up like Calgary did the last 2 months. Last month, there were more homes sold in Regina than the 5-year average for any month of the year. That 314 homes sold was equal to how many homes were sold in August. That is up 28% from last year and up 61% from the 5-year average, which is under 200 homes sold in a month. There was also a big jump in listings. 341 homes were listed. That's up 6% from last year. It's up 10% from the 5-year average, where typically about 300 houses are put up for sale. We are back under 1,000 active listings for sale in Regina right now. That is up 3% from last year, but it is down 16% from the 5-year average, which is closer to 1,160 homes for sale in the month. The months of inventory in Regina last month was 4.2, kind of bordering on that balance territory. It slid back down now to 3.1 after that big month of sales that we had last month in Regina. The composite benchmark price is $260,000. That is up 6% from last year. It is down a little bit from last month. This is typically the time of year that we see prices sliding, and that is what we're seeing, but it's by a very small amount right now. If we see more months like we just saw of strong sales and low levels of inventory, that's going to put upward pressure on prices again in the city. So don't be surprised if we go into the spring market with low levels of inventory and strong buyer demand to see those bidding wars coming back and prices increasing. Just like we saw in Regina, there were more homes sold last month in Saskatoon than the 5-year average for any month in the year. The 414 homes sold, well, that is up 16% from last year and up 65% over the 5-year average in Saskatoon, which is closer to 260 homes sold in a month. There were 440 homes put up for sale in the month. That is up 4% from last year. but it's down 7% from that 5-year average, which is about 470 homes put up for sale in the month. There's also less than 1,000 homes available for sale in Saskatoon right now. That's down 2% from last year and down 25% from their 5-year average, where typically there's 1,300 homes for sale right now. Months of inventory dropped from last month's 2.8 to 2.4 this month. That composite benchmark price in Saskatoon is now $327,000. That's actually a small bump from last month, and it is up 8% year over year. Generally, we're gonna see prices declining this time of year in Saskatoon. Now we're seeing them increase again. I'm recording this video the day after the Riders and Bombers met in the West semifinal, and I don't even like talking about Winnipeg. It hurts so bad, but they did have 1,244 homes sold in a month. That's up 4% from last year. 1,363 new listings, which is down 1% from last year. They've got about 2,200 active listings right now. That is down 28% from last year. And that means months of inventory is now 1.8. It's actually up slightly from last month's 1.7, not a lot of change there. The benchmark price is about $318,000 in Winnipeg, and that's up 11%. Talking with agents, it's sounding like a broken record in Winnipeg. Besides them talking about how good the Bombers are, it's a lack of supply and stronger buyer demand than you typically see this time of year, and that's putting that upward pressure on prices in Winnipeg and making it difficult for buyers to find great houses. The Toronto real estate market continues to be way more active than it normally is this time of year. They had over 9,000 homes sold last month. That's up 3% from last year and up 19% from the 5-year average, where typically there's about 7,600 homes sold in the month. And while the number of homes sold, total number, has been dropping month to month, the gap between what is sold this month versus the 5-year average has been increasing the last couple of months, indicating that we're seeing a market heating up, not cooling off in Toronto. About 10,000 homes were put up for sale last month in Toronto. That's down 13% from last year. It's also down 10% from their 5-year average, where there's usually over 11,000 homes put up for sale in the month. And this is where the numbers in Toronto really start to get scary. Less than 6,100 homes available for sale. Again, they sold over 9,000 last month. That means it's down 56% from last year, down 56% from their 5-year average, where there's typically 13,000 homes available for sale this time of year. The months of inventory is half of what it was last month, where it was at 1.4. Now we're at 0.7 months of inventory. This is actually the lowest it has been all year. The composite benchmark price, that's all property types put together in the GTA, that is up 28%. It's $1.172 million. That is within 3% of the prices in Vancouver. To start the year, the gap was 14%. Vancouver was 14% more expensive than Toronto. At the rate things are going in Toronto, I expect that Toronto will be the most expensive city in Canada within a couple of months. If you want to find out where the most affordable place to buy a house in Canada is, I got a link to a video I did a few months ago, most affordable places that you can buy a house in Canada. You should check that one out. It's pretty interesting. When I phoned up local real estate agents in Toronto to ask them what was going on last month, one of them told me they sold a parking stall for $46,000. That to me is mind-boggling. In my market, you can buy a house for $46,000. I wanted to talk as well with them. What are they seeing for the investor market? Got a chart that's gonna pop up here. You can see the surge in investors getting houses in Canada. It's kind of crazy. This isn't Ontario specific, but you can see across Canada, big surge in the number of investors buying properties. The other little piece of information that I learned, condos on average are $1 million cheaper than single family homes. Start of the year, that was $700,000 cheaper to buy a condo. So that spread has increased. It's making condos a lot more attractive. I'm going to talk about it in my 2022 predictions video, and I've been talking about it all year. Condos were going to be a hot product the back half of the year. I think they're going to be even hotter going into 2022. So make sure you get subscribed if you're not already, so you don't miss that 2022 predictions video. So much for prices declining in Ottawa. We'll talk about that in 1 second. They did have over 1,400 homes sold in a month. It's down 9% from last year, but up 25% from their 5-year average. 29%, which is over 1,100 houses sold in a month. There were 1,430 homes put up for sale in the month. That is down 13% from last year, but up 4% from their 5-year average. Good news there for buyers. That average is about 1,370 homes put up for sale in the month. There are 1,300 homes currently for sale in Ottawa right now. That's down 13% from last year, and it is down 71% from that 5-year average, where typically there's about 4,500 homes available for sale this time of year in Ottawa. Months of inventory dropped. It's at 0.8. Last month, it was at 1.1, and this is actually the lowest months of inventory we've seen in Ottawa since April. The composite benchmark price in Ottawa, $645,000. That is up 13% from last year. We saw a couple of months in a row of declining prices. Now we've seen a month where prices have gone back up. Talking with local real estate agents in Ottawa, they're keenly watching the inventory levels like I am and like you guys are, and their big concern is what happens if we get to the spring and inventory levels are as low as they are right now, which will potentially make them lower than this year's spring, meaning we might see more competition for houses next year. The upward trend in Montreal continues. Over 4,400 homes sold in the month. That is down 18% from last year, but it is up 14% from that 5-year average, which is closer to 3,800 sales in the month. The just over 5,000 homes put up for sale in the month, that is down 16% from last year, and it's down 1% from their 5-year average. Usually there's about 5,100 homes put up for sale in the month. The 10,600 homes currently for sale in Montreal, well, that is down 22% from last year, and it's down 49% from the 5-year average. Usually there's about 21,000 homes for sale at this time of year in Montreal. The months of inventory dropped from 2.6 to 2.4. And like sales, prices are on the rise again in Montreal, now about $507,000 for that composite benchmark price, and that's up 20% from last year. Are you guys getting tired of me telling you how crazy busy the Halifax real estate market is? Because I'm almost getting tired of talking about how busy it is. They had 538 sales last month. That is actually down 17% from last year, but the 319 homes actively for sale for right now in Halifax is down 75%. And that's a huge reason why sales are down. There just simply isn't houses to be bought right now. Months of inventory, 0.5, 2 weeks worth of inventory in Halifax before they run out of houses. If nothing new gets listed, it was 0.6 last month, it's getting worse. Average price in Halifax, $470,000, and that is up 32% from last year. Talking with local real estate agents in Halifax, one thing that really stuck out to me was the interprovincial migration stat they mentioned. So that is people moving from other provinces, not international, just other provinces, to Halifax, mainly from that Ontario area, but across Canada, people are moving to Halifax. It was up 300%, and that is putting a ton of pressure on the real estate market, on the rental market, just across the board. It's putting a lot of pressure on things in Halifax. And with how slow and how long it takes projects and buildings to get approved to be built in Halifax, I don't think this problem is going away anytime soon. There are a number of factors causing this hot market at the end of the year when we'd normally be seeing things cool down in the Canadian housing market. Investors are for sure a major factor. I'm going to be talking about it in my 2022 predictions video, but I expect that we're going to see rents increase next year. And I think a lot of investors are also seeing that, and that's why they're buying up these properties like crazy right now, expecting rents to increase. And of course, property values are also going to probably increase in 2022. The first-time home buyer and move-up buyer, that continues to be a major factor in the market as well. You've got a lot of buyers who took some time off in the summer and they've jumped back into the market now in the fall. And a number of them are trying to get in before rates inevitably do increase. Everybody's been talking in 2022, rates are going to increase. So you've got a lot of buyers jumping in the market right now, trying to get in before those rates increase. But you know what else I found really surprising? That Vancouver is not the most expensive place in Canada to buy a house. That's right. This video right here, I'm going to tell you what is the most expensive place in Canada to buy a house. And this right here is what the YouTube algorithm says you need to watch next on Prairie Real Estate. As always, guys, thanks very much for watching. Give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't.